So, now that's a lot better. See, that's how it's supposed to look. Not like the other way. But the other way I could fix it. So this is part 2 with OJ.
Hey!
Yeah, he's back. He's not the OJ that said it doesn't fit.
No, because it always fits with me.
It doesn't fit.
That doesn't sound right.
It doesn't fit. And then he's free, and then I'm pretty sure he's Khloe Kardashian's dad.
Who?
O.J. Simpson.
You think so?
Well, you ever see her beside her other sisters?
Chewbacca.
Anyhow, we're going to talk film. Look how that showed up on there. Look, check that out. Look at that. It's hilarious. Film. So we were talking in the last episode about Cinefest, and like, the print came up, and it was an actual film, and it was on reel. People don't... Not reel, platter, we'll say.
Well,
it's on the platter
the way that films come up back in the day, they would come in canisters and broken down into what's reels and everything. So it's about 20 minutes per reel.
Yep.
And then we have to paste them together.
A lot of people... Okay, I say yeah, because... Okay, I did that.
You understand, yeah.
I did it. So, I think it was definitely you. You were like... after you had scared me a couple times up in the booth.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know that place and little secrets up there. There's 12 projection booths in this theater, 6 on each side, all in the open. Where can he hide? Anywhere he wants.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyhow, he's the one that says to me, "Have you seen the burn marks?" What the fuck are you talking about? Burn marks. He goes, "Yeah, watch the movie. You'll see it. It flashes once, and then when it goes to change, it does it again." And he explains to me burn marks. So now explain burn marks.
Now, again, back in the day. And when I say back in the day, it's back when they would use the reels, the 20-minute reels, but they would have 2 projectors showing onto the screens. And one reel would be set up, almost like the old reels of in high school, where it was just like on the top and bottom type of thing.
Yeah.
And then once the projectionist would actually, because back then smoking was everywhere anyway, so the projectionist was a smoker as well. So when it got to a point where to give them an early warning system,
Yeah.
they would put in about 4 burn marks with their cigarette onto the film at a certain point, and then at another certain point where it actually changes over to the next reel.
Right.
The first set would be for to start up the second projector for the second reel, and then the second dots were for the to change over.
Yeah.
So you go from you close one to open up the second one type of thing.
If anyone wants this is. I remember I was working at the theater, and you're like, look, you had explained it to me, and then we got Inglourious Bastards. So if you actually watch Inglourious Bastards, you can actually see the sequence in the movie where they actually do the switch between the 2 projectors.
Yeah, Inglourious Bastards with the scene.
Yes.
They go to a theater and everything. Yeah.
So if anyone wants to see that, all you have to do is watch Inglourious Bastards, and you see the 2 projection system, and you see the 2 different reels.
Another one you can watch too is a Sean William Scott movie called Bulletproof Monk.
Oh, yeah.
Because his character runs projectors because he lives there because it's his apartment as well. But since I think probably about in the 80s when they started doing multiplexes and everything, they started mass producing films. So instead of saving the projectionist time, they would produce the films with those dots on it already. Mm-hmm. Save them some time and everything. And so, I don't know when there was a time where they introduced, because it was they introduced it in multiplexes, what's called the platter system, which is you're putting the movie that comes in reels, and you're pretty much taping them all together. If you ever watched Fight Club where he splices everything together, that's the best example. mind you, we can't get adult films up here and film and put them in children's movies, so we don't do that. I get that question all the frickin' time. You put porno in movies? So, so now it's a platter system. So,
yeah, I remember what we would do is we would get the reels in. We
Yeah.
get 4 tins, basically, if it's a good sized movie.
yeah,
4 tins with 4 reels in it.
yeah. It all depends on the
max,
size
right?
of the movie. Yeah,
Size of the movie. What would happen? Mostly I started breaking them down, but then putting them together was
Yeah.
a little bit more responsibility because you had to be good at it too.
Yeah.
But you start with the first reel and it goes on head first. So meaning the start of the movie goes on first.
yeah,
So you have all your trailers and everything plays from the beginning, goes on first onto this platter, and it starts from the center. It comes out from the center of
yeah.
the film.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and then when it comes back to the platter, it's a ring system.
Yeah.
And it goes back to that, so that all you have to do is take out that ring and you do it all over again.
Yeah.
It's like,
And you set it to the top one
or whatever.
at the
one.
end of the day.
Yeah.
It plays to the top so that when Ray comes in the morning, it's all on top and he has to grab the ladder.
I'm not saying anything to that.
Personally, like you're supposed. Okay, most platters
You're supposed to go in
that we
order.
had
Like the
3,
yeah.
1, 2, 3,
1, 2,
1,
3.
2,
1, 2,
3.
3. Now it all
Right.
depends on how you're doing it and everything, and where you end up starting it, whatever.
I liked going 1, 2. I never.
I know a lot of like. Now to get back.
Do we
to,
give secrets away though too? Like,
it doesn't matter because we don't use platter system anyway.
I know, but there's these rubber wheels that when the movie comes out of, it feeds onto them, and you're supposed to use them because apparently they clean the movies. But somebody told me, I'm not saying who, that says they actually scratch them more, so they didn't.
It's
use
not
them.
so much that it's scratch. There's supposed to be like a sticky film on it,
Yeah.
or built into it type of thing, and it's a film platter cleaner, FPC rollers, what they're called. And what some people tend to do is not use them, because when you're going through it, there is, like you said, you got to put ads and trailers on there, but you have to put something on there before the ads and trailers so that you can actually get it through the projector
The leader.
and come back to, so that you're not going halfway through the commercials and everything.
Yeah.
So it's a clear leader, as it's called, and there's like a countdown on it that you see on a lot of stuff and everything. It's a countdown.
I don't
but-
remember the countdown.
It's on there, yeah.
But you don't see it on
No,
the
no,
screen.
no.
You never see
you
it.
never see it
Because of the
You'll-
foils.
Well, not just that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll get into that later.
Yeah. Later.
So when you're going through those cleaners, the rollers, with that leader, you're dirtying them right away.
Yeah.
So what I tend to do is I won't put them in there right away. I'll just like do my whole threading and everything, and then I'll put the film into the leaders itself, because I know how to do it. I've been doing it for so long,
Yeah.
you know. But now we don't use them at all. We don't use the platter system. It's all digital,
Yeah.
you know. But to get back to the film, we would piece them all together and put them all in one. So it's all one piece. So it goes through one projector,
Yeah.
type of thing. And like you said, there's certain foils. Foils are like for the reader. So like it'll go through our system and tell the automation what to do next. Like the first one would be obviously to open up the dowser to show the movie,
Yeah.
type of thing, and then the next one after that
Dims the lights.
dims the lights because the feature's about to start.
Yeah.
Then the next one after that is for the credits to bring their lights up, and then the last one is to get ready to shut down.
Yeah.
Not to
It
give us
shuts the whole projector down too. Like the projector doesn't keep going after
Like-
that either.
like what it really does is it tells the system that it's not a film break when there's no film
Yeah.
going through it, because once the film is gone from it, if it happens during the movie or whatever, we get a projector on it, and it says show one projector on.
Yeah.
And you'll go and you have to scope out what's actually wrong with it. Sometimes it's just popped out of the rollers, which is awesome because all you have to do is just pop back in, and there you go. Sometimes, worst case scenario, it's what's called a brain wrap, and it goes into what the payout is,
Yep.
And keeps on going,
Stops.
going, and it keeps on pulling, and the tension, and it just rips right out of the projector itself.
Yeah.
Waits 5 seconds, then stops. And that's when you have to be creative.
Well, two
For editing.
instances when I worked there. Okay, one is when I was breaking the film down. So the movie's leaving the theater, and I'm going in reverse order. So I'm pulling it off from the back, going a little too fast on the platter that's reeling it up onto the reel, and ending up with one of the biggest tangled messes. I think Joey took a picture of it and has it on his iPhone somewhere that you could ever think of in your life. You can't even imagine how much film was on the floor.
Oh, I can imagine.
I'm saying to the listener.
Yes.
To the listener. Because how many frames per second?
24.
24 frames per second.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's
15 frames per foot.
yeah.
No, that's what it is. It's 15 frames per foot, 24 frames per second. I always do that to people. It's like, now how many frames in an hour? And how long is it?
Yeah.
You know?
So, anyhow, you can cut off like 5 frames, easy. You won't notice a difference in
Nothing.
sound. You won't notice anything, not even picture. So, this time I was breaking down a movie, not too bad. I got help untangling it, took a little bit of extra splices, taping it back together, then nothing big, nothing bad. The other time, learning how to do tandems with Joey.
Oh.
Okay? So, the movie happened to be Twilight.
Oh.
Okay?
So if it screws up, you're in.
This is the night before. Okay? The movie. This is the date. We're putting it together the day before the midnight showing.
Yeah.
Okay? Because the tandem has to be set up and ready to go. It's a big movie. There's no movies in theater 1 and 2. Okay? And a tandem, Joey's like, hey, I'll teach you how to do tandems. We hook it all up, and he explains everything, and everything's fine. Okay? Do the whole tandem. It's like showing me for like, I don't know, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, not 30 seconds, but long enough that the movie has played through both projectors. Okay? Now, I still remember the exact part where it's messed up, because what happened was to put the film back onto one platter, you have to advance it, and to advance it, you have to unleash everything on the projector, all the little teeth, all the everything on the projectors. So we did that to one projector. Now, tandem means there's 2 of them working in sync. So this one projector, after it goes through the one projector and plays, so the foils go through, it has an extra long leader to make it to the other one, which is advanced. I don't know how long the leader is. OJ would know that better. But we forgot to unleash the teeth on the first projector that it played through. So Joey hits the advance, and it goes for 3 feet. So we're looking at a 4.5 foot splice of bad film. We had to test it to see if the movie still made sense, because it was that much. You're looking at a good almost 5 foot section of film, which is noticeable. So I'm sitting in the movie because my wife wanted to watch it. So I'm like, I'll take you. Free movies, right? Go to Twilight. I'm like, I wonder if this is the one. I had no idea where it was at that time.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is the one. And she had known about the story. I told her. We're watching it. She goes, that was it, right? I was like, yeah. But if no one else can tell, but because she knew about it, then she could tell it was right there, right? So I just started laughing.
So now with the cigarette burns.
Yeah, with the cigarette burns.
Of course, now they put them on there physically now, like part of the film itself. And, and so now we get the platter system, and I always tell people, like, even when they come up, when the new hires, they get shown upstairs, just to show them how like the process behind the scenes, like behind the curtain type of thing. And I always tell them that about cigarette burns and where it is in the movie. It's about between 15 to 19 minutes after the movie started. After the movie starts, and every other time after that type of thing. So now that, and I tell this to people too, it's like, now that you know this, you're going to be looking for them now.
Yeah.
You know?
And I was like, every time I go to a movie, I'll be sitting there right after, like when I'm working there, I'll be sitting there and looking at the screen and going, not even paying attention, not looking for it. All of a sudden, you see it.
Yeah.
And it's not like on film, it's small.
On film, it's top right-hand corner, and it's for 4 frames. Yeah. So it's not there that long.
No.
You know, compared to 24 frames per second.
Yeah.
You know? And it's up there twice.
Yeah, there's the first time, the warning, and then the actual change. So, when you're sitting down in the theater, depending on what kind it is, you might see an oval, or you might see a perfect circle.
Yes.
Depending which format it is.
Yeah.
So, you sit there, and then your eye catches it, because now you know about it, and you look at it.
And then you wait for the other one.
And then you wait for the other one. And it's not just even a 3-foot circle. It's like almost a 5-foot circle.
Yeah, because it's on the big screen.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's huge on the screen.
Yeah.
And it flashes, and you go, okay, that's 20 minutes.
Yeah, and then
that's
you're like
40 minutes.
Yeah, and you just wait for the next one.
60 minutes. That's 120 minutes. That's 180 minutes after a while. Okay, Batman's almost over, right? So recently, go to the theater, watch Dark Knight Rises. Okay? Waiting. About the 20-minute mark, I'm like, eyes automatically go to the right-hand side. Right, top right-hand corner. I'm like, because it wasn't too long ago I seen Avengers, and Avengers had it. And I'm like, okay, where is it? Oh, it's not there.
No.
This is a fucking digital copy. Damn it. So how many digital projectors do you have at the theater now?
At the theater, out of the 12 theaters,
yeah,
we have 12. They're all
digital.
They're all digital now. We get everything on hard drives, and it's we also now it was kind of funny because I like to say the Avengers is my favorite movie because for film I have a connection with the Avengers now
because it was the last.
Hang on now.
It had to be the last one.
The Avengers was the last of many things for me. The Avengers was the last movie I put together. It was the last movie I broke down. It was the last movie I threaded.
Yeah.
And the last movie I shut down as film.
Yeah.
Okay? That's 4. And now that we don't have the film projectors up there, I can now say this. The 5th thing is the Avengers was the last one I had a brain wrap on. Now the last film we had at the theater. When I say film, because I used to talk to one of the assistant managers there, like Joey, you mentioned, and he would always say, "OJ, you're the only one that calls the movies films." It's like, we're going digital now. It's like, it's not going to stop me. It's still a film.
It's still a film.
You know? So the Avengers was the last film print that we had. And it was Victoria Day weekend. It was the Monday. Because the following day, because we didn't have any matinees, that was when they were going to change over the last 2. And the Avengers just happened to be the last one to end that night as well. So, now, mind you, that would cap off all of our theaters being digital.
You mean for Cineplex?
For our theater itself,
just Silver City here,
just the one in Sudbury, and but we only had 11 theaters open because the Monday after the Avengers opened, we closed off one of our bigger theaters to make it what it is now, is the Ultra AVX.
Yeah.
Which is
bigger
like
screen,
bigger screen,
bigger seats.
not so much bigger seats, but it is a wider back than you're used to, and it's actually it's like a rocker seat, so it's like on a hinge. You can actually almost like recline on it.
Yeah.
But it's not really a recliner.
That'd make me fall asleep.
Yeah, but it's more. I look at it as being more, almost like it'll move with if it's loud enough, it'll actually move you so that you're actually part of the movie, type of thing. It's 7.1 surround system, which is the only one in our theater.
The old ones were 4.
5.
Or 5.
Yeah, everything's 5. Yeah, now with digital, everything's 5.1.
Yeah, but the old real
they were always 5.
Were they 5s?
Oh yeah,
I thought it wasn't official.
No. It was always 5, and if you get like a movie that would come in from Cinefest, they would once in a while do like a throwback movie type of thing. Like I did makeups for them when we first opened up, and did Barbarella and Godfather, White Christmas, and I don't think we had Citizen Kane, but White Christmas, it was brutal, the film itself.
Wow.
But it was only 2.0. It was just left and right, that's all it was.
Wow.
And there's always processing for it and everything. But now that we're all digital, everything...
You don't have to worry about scratching and print?
No, nothing.
Which people don't realize is actually if you scratch and print, you have to pay money for the
Yes,
print.
yes.
People don't know that. So
Yeah.
when we talk about brain wraps, it's really dangerous for the theater that you work for because it costs them money.
Yeah, especially if they have to get a replacement reel.
Yeah.
Because all the films are rented. No matter what it is. They're all... it's just like...
Yeah.
They're rented, so it's a lot more money for renting, but... and like with the hard drives, or with the digital now, everything comes on hard drives. So it's today's movies. It's perfect, because they're filming them in digital now. Transporting them and everything. But what they started doing a couple years ago was doing a classic film series, which is you play one movie on a Wednesday night or a Sunday afternoon, depending on what it is, and it's an old movie that used to only be available in print, and now it's digital, and they play one title a month. They place twice a month with first and then an encore type of thing, and they're going into their 3rd year, I think, of it now. And somebody gets them, and they're actually pretty good. Like this past year, they're all classic movies, like from like the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Yeah.
I say 70s because all of them, they're all like Singing in the Rain, like classics. You would think classics, you know? North by Northwest.
Yeah.
White Christmas.
Yeah.
Gone
with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind, yeah. We did have that one. And back in June, Blazing Saddles.
That's awesome.
That's classic, you know? And yeah, and everything came on hard drives.
Still waiting for Army of Darkness.
Yeah, I wish. So the last... I didn't do the Singing in the Rain one. That was the August one.
Yeah.
The July one, we had the Humphrey Bogart movie, Katharine Hepburn, African Queen. It's from like, I think, 1935? I want to say 1940s.
All
50s.
black and white.
No, it was in color, so it must have been in the 50s. But, because of the format of film back then, it was a ratio of 1.33. So like your monitor or your TV, it was like full frame. Like the old TVs, full frame. But to put it digitally, they had to put the bars on the left and right.
Oh, yeah.
to box it in type of thing. And you couldn't. There's no filler on it.
Yeah.
You know, but we got some new ones.
They figure out all.
Yeah, and they've got some classic film series coming up this year too. It's like this month, September. It's Sunset Boulevard with Joan Crawford.
So how much we were talking about Cinefest?
The film festival?
Yeah.
Okay.
Film festival, right? We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
And I remember back in the day, wait, is that another dollar?
Yeah.
Yesteryear, they would pretty much rip apart the whole theater and play. You know, they had some digital, they had a lot of digital prints, but now they used to have some prints. So how is it going to work this time with all the digital?
What they used to do was, if it was a print, obviously they'd play it. Remember,
they did weird stuff too. They would actually control the lights too, but you used to do that.
Yeah, you can do that from everything from upstairs too, but with the automation, they'd have to go offline with it. Because the automation is automated. Like, even if there was something automated, whatever, just one thing left over that they forgot about, it'll screw up everything. Type of thing. So they just leave everything offline or in one of their menus for this touchscreen system, and then they can operate it. You know, like, because there is a manual start for the projectors and everything. That's what they do too. So not only do they use prints, but they also used to hook up like Betamaxes and Blu-ray players, DVD players, and everything to our video projectors. Digital projectors are the ones how I'll describe it now is the ones that we have now that we can go through with the actual film and the 3D and the AVX and all that.
Are you still showing the pre-show on the Christie's and then showing the?
No, they're on the Christie's. Yeah, the Christie's are the actual projectors. That's the company name.
So you're not showing the pre-show on.
We don't have the small little projectors anymore.
What'd you do with them?
They're all getting ready to go back. Same with the film projectors. They're all getting ready to go back.
Where do they go back?
They go back to wherever they ship them off to for a warehouse.
Yeah.
And then they do whatever.
Parts?
Yeah, for parts and for other.
Because there's still places in the world that still use this system.
Yeah.
There's an insane one. I don't know if I showed it to you on YouTube, but I was like, after I left, I kind of missed when I got my full-time job. I missed working at the theater. Right. I was gonna work there one day a week just to work in the booth. Right. It's fun. Right. And you get free movies. Like duh. But anyhow, I was like, So I was explaining to someone how you thread movies and stuff at work and stuff, and so I showed them to go on YouTube and look at this video, and this platter was really weird because the platter was down the main floor, and the guy literally took the end of the film, climbed up a ladder, put it through the projector, brought it all the way back down, and brought it back to the platter, fed the platter, then went back up, framed the movie, because you have to frame it, right?
Yep.
Then went back down, turned the platter on. And it was up a whole ladder system you had to climb. Yep. I was thinking...
I seen that one. I saw the video.
Okay, so I did show it to you. Yeah. So I was thinking, if that was our job, I would have lost a lot more weight back in the day. But that job, I've talked to a lot of people and they're like, oh, working at the theater isn't fun. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's not fun. I did all kinds of jobs there. I did everything. I worked on the floor. I worked in the booth. I said it was all fun. Like, I liked it. And working in the booth, though, was like one of those special times. Like, yeah, it's fun. It's great. You feel more part of the movie than actually just, cleaning up the theater. Like, because you're up there in the booth. There's tons of stuff to do up there. How much stuff is there to do now? Not much. Do you even mop the floors up there anymore?
We have schedules.
You have schedules?
For duties and everything to just keep everything
tidy.
Just to tidy up and everything.
But there's no now you don't need Casper. No one knows what Casper is, but dude, to move movies, we put the movie on these A-frames with the real film.
Oh yeah, Casper.
On the A-frames, and Casper was the one platter that was on the other side. He was clear.
Yeah,
and he's like a little plate kind of, and you put him on there, and you could carry it. Now, most of us would actually just carry it from one projector to the other without the wheels.
Well, see, the thing with this too, we also had clamps.
Yes.
That would you can put them on there for safety reasons and just carry it from number 1 to number 2, type of thing. Or in my case, I would carry it from number 3 to number 9, which, if you know a theater, those are like the 2 furthest points.
Yeah.
Type of thing, and I would do that because I know my capacity, I know what I can do. My
You did it without the wheels?
I know I had it on clamps.
Okay.
Just the clamps themselves, so I'd be carrying it.
Oh, just the clamps. Yeah.
Now, a movie like the best example to use for the wheels is Lord of the Rings, because it was 9 to 10 reels. So that thing was like almost like 2 inches away from the edge of the platter. You had to use the wheels on that one with the A-frame,
Yeah.
Casper, and that. You have to, And I would even use the wheels, even if it was going from number 1 to number 3, because it is the length of the thing, whatever.
Yeah.
If there's anything more than 6 reels,
If you're on 3 going to 4 with Lord of the Rings, would you attempt it
with wheels,
without?
no, because I know my capacity.
Just the.
I could see. That's the thing. If you're within the actual, if you're not leaving that area,
Yeah.
For me, that's my capacity. I can actually move something from number 1 to number 4. That is 8 reels or more, without the wheels as well. But because of how heavy it is, I will use. But if it's going like from 1 to 6 is a bad idea. Even before. Which one was it? There are certain setups where they're actually really close to each other, type of thing. Like 9 and 10, they were I think they were the closest ones for platters.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So even if like the ones that are across from each other, I wouldn't use, even if it's a 10-reel movie. No, because I know what I can carry.
Yeah.
And everything. So I'll just slip it in, slip it over, all set.
Most times, if I was on the one, if the movie was moving on the one side just to another platter within that side, east or west, I wouldn't use the wheels. But if I had to move it from east to west or vice versa,
use the wheels.
I would use the wheels.
Yeah. Now, my theory behind it is if it's 6 reels or more, I'll use the wheels.
But I'm a little bit stronger.
No, but no, I mean like to transport it back and forth, because if it's less than 6 reels, or like 6 reels, or like I said, if it's more than 6 reels, if the movie is 6 reels, I'll use the clamps and carry it back and forth from east and west.
I seen you do the clamps once.
Yeah.
I never wanted to try it because it's dangerous to do.
It is dangerous, mind you. Once in a while, when you're carrying it, if a clamp is not on there securely, it'll drop right off. You can't stop. No, you got to go with momentum and keep on going, type of thing, because you still got 2 more on there. Type of thing. I've done it where with just 1. It was only like a 4-reel movie, but I did it with 1. So, but are we trying to get to the story?
I'm getting to the story. I'm getting to the story where you were down.
Oh yeah. So
you were down on Players Night, right?
Yeah. So it was, and I know this vividly because the other person that used to work with us too, Neo. Yeah. I'm not gonna mention his real name, but big Matrix fan, obviously, because he used the nickname Neo. And this was the first time where we were watching it, and there was like new films coming out, because this was opening up on it opened up on a Thursday night, and we had cast night on the Wednesday after midnight type of thing, just for the cast and employees. So I'm in there, it's like whatever, why not, and Neo and Ray were working. Does Ray listen to this?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway,
I'll make sure I put it on there. When I put it up, I'll say, Ray, you have to listen to this one.
So what happened was, I'm downstairs, and I'm just getting this from, I'm telling the story from my perspective of it, and a manager comes in. OJ, we need your help upstairs. Okay. And it's like, and to start off, okay, this is Matrix Reloaded, which is the first sequel. Okay, so if you're listening to this and thinking of where I am in the movie, where that we're watching it, it's just when they hit the highway with the after the chalet.
Yeah.
With twins.
Yeah.
Okay. So they just hit the highway, and I'm coming out. Okay.
So that's like maybe an hour into the movie.
Maybe 45 minutes.
Maybe 45
Okay.
minutes, yeah.
Now, and before I get ahead of myself, okay, I haven't seen them since. I've seen, so it's about 45 minutes. Okay, so I've seen half of the Matrix type thing because it's 3 movies.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I start going upstairs, and I ask her what's wrong. It's like, well, Neo and Ray, they dropped a print. It's like, which one? Daddy Daycare. Okay. Because I'm thinking in my mind, it's not that long, you know. It's a kids movie. I said, well, what? Well, they dropped it twice. It's like, okay, what? So they said they're carrying it over from one side to the other on the platter, and they're both carrying it. I said, well, what about they had the clamps on it? It's like, no, it was just on Casper. It's like,
which in reality, that little, it looks like a fork.
it's a U shape. It's like
U-shape.
If you have it
Right.
upside down,
Yeah.
where the sliders go into it, if you actually have it up, it actually looks like an A to go with the A-frame that goes onto it too.
But Casper happens to be the flimsiest one out of all.
Yeah.
Of them.
So, and they didn't put it on the wheels. They were just carrying it. It's like, yeah, it's just a small enough print, you know. So, they bring it over, and how are we going to open the door? We got out one door, it was a push. Now the next door is a pull.
You know what? I don't want to say. I don't know who is walking backwards.
Neither do I.
Or whatever. But what is right beside the door? You're in the hallway. The door, say, is to your left. What is right to the right? The big freaking... There's a big platform there where the projectors from the other side go on that wall. So there's a big freaking flat surface that put the movie on right there that they could open the door and then move.
Oh yeah, the little
The little landing is right there.
But anyway, looking back at thinking of scenarios now doesn't help back then.
What would be worse?
You know?
What would be worse? Okay, no, this is scenario number 2. Worst one. They were carrying it. They get there. They realize, oh, we're gonna have a hard time opening the door. Well, let's put the movie here on the actual ledge that it overhangs. Back then, it would be TCBY. Okay.
But even that, it was behind the lobby
or whatever
screen. Yeah.
The lobby screen, not on the big nice area where you couldn't let it drop, but if it actually dropped down into the the common area, which would have been wicked, right down into the freaking. That would have been awesome. I would have laughed at that.
So they get to the door, and I don't know. Like I said, I don't know which side was which, but they go and let go of one hand to open up the door, and it drops. But it didn't drop as bad. They were able to salvage it, put it back on. They still have the door open. Okay, let's go. And then they drop it again. Right in the middle of the... Because we had to go to number... I think it was number 10 it was going to. So about halfway, right around number 11, they drop it again. And it's upside down.
Oh.
So I go upstairs. I believe it was upside down. So I go upstairs. I tell them, okay, we need the spinners, which are these. It's smaller than a reel, and what you do is you stick the film into the one little opening on it, and you spin it, and so the whole thing it'll come in, so you can take one reel, and we usually do it for taking out ads and trailers that need to be replaced or needs stuff to be added, whatever.
Yep.
So I set it all up, and I don't know how many blisters I ended up with, But we had 2 of these things, so I get work on the first one. I give it to Ray. He goes on the other side because we only have one working makeup
bench.
Makeup bench.
Yeah.
It's actual like a table and everything, but it's the only one with the motor and the belt in it too. So we couldn't do it on the same side. So I said, okay, go and start putting this one over there, and then I'll get Neo to bring over the next one. He'll bring the other one over to me. It's a whole system like this here. So get it all done, and yeah. No scratches on it.
No scratches?
No, the next
and
day,
you put it back in the right order.
Back in the right order and everything. And I had a sore back by the end of it.
Oh, when you looked at it on the floor, how much of the...
It wasn't a big mess. It was just it was upside down, I believe.
So it wasn't too bad.
And it was flat on there, and it's like...
If you drop one reel, just one 20-minute reel on the floor, it looks like the biggest mess.
Well, no, because you're unspooling it.
Yeah.
But if you drop it from an actual platter,
yeah,
it's different.
Yeah. Can I take a quick break, and then we'll come right back, just because my wife's home. Okay, we're back. I just said to OJ, real quick before I sat down, so at least you didn't make it upside down and the right way.
So there's another story here too. We had an incident where it happened where with a certain film starring a certain secret agent.
Bruce Willis?
No. He just goes by. I'm just gonna go by numbers. 007. And something had happened, and we had to get a replacement reel for it. So it came in during my not during my shift. It got put back on, and the first time it was running was for me, type of thing. So it got put on at the end of the shift, and it was starting for me. Next one. So one of the managers said, just make sure it's okay. Yeah, no problem. I noticed where it's going to be getting into. Okay, I'm watching it, and suddenly I get manager. OJ, there's like big scratches on the right-hand side of the screen. It's like, we just got this. Oh my god. So I go to it. It's like, I stop it. I tell them, yeah, I have to fix it. Those aren't scratches. That's the sound. The sound waves on the actual film. So it goes to the projector, right? So it's process it and everything. So when they placed it together, they didn't piece it together. Because you know how you put in a puzzle piece, it's got to go a certain way, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with this. You got to line up the sound to go to the sound. So they actually had it flipped. So not only was Mr. 007 facing one side. Once it got to that point, he was facing the other side.
And the sound was probably going...
And not only that, he was shifted over a bit. Because they had to make room for all the sound waves on the screen. But because on that side, there is nothing there, so there's not going to be any sound whatsoever.
But isn't there some kind of rubbing sound?
No.
Oh, I thought there was.
So I had to fix that too. So yeah.
So at least you don't have to deal with that anymore.
No, but now, I have so many stories. First Underworld movie. I think of myself as a editor as well, right? Like Rodriguez and Kevin Smith and that edit their own stuff, but I edit their stuff type of thing. But in this case, it was during Cinefest time, and that was when we had film, and we were, us projectionists, were breaking down and making up the films, and that's like a crash course in film makeups, because you have to make it up, and once it's done, break it down, type of thing. So at the same time, we also have movies opening up as well. So I'm putting it together, and I'm breaking down something else as well, and I forgot. So it got almost like what you said. It was like one of the times it wrecked for a bit, because it got caught up somewhere, and I can fix this. Got here, a few frames here, a few frames here, and we had a cast screening for it. I went to go watch for a bit of it because I was working that night. I couldn't go see it, but I asked people, like, was it good? It's like, yeah. It's like, okay. I watched a bit of it too. It was like where that scene is, and because you can almost hear it, because there's still stuff that was salvageable, but you can still hear it going through the projector type thing, and it's because with all the cuts and everything. So I'm watching, it's like, what scene is this? Oh my god. I cut it better than the actual the editors, because it's a scene where they're getting chased. The two main characters are getting chased by cops or something like that, and they're going up a stairwell and everything, and it's quick cuts anyway. Going to cops, going to the vampire and the werewolf, whatever. Going back and forth. But with mine is more of it's a little bit quicker. The way it was done, it was, nobody noticed it.
Except when I went back to the film place. What the heck?
No, because they would see that there was like tape and everything and stuff like that.
Did you ever use the yellow tape when you broke down? I never did.
Yellow tape, for breaking down, you only use it on one side.
Yeah.
Just to tape it together. But if it was going to, if it's Cinefest, something like that, you piece it back together the way you got it, which is there's masking tape. You just tape it up to head to the foot and everything else.
So, the one thing before we end, summer movies. So you have to rank them. Which one you like?
Well, Avengers is number one.
Okay, that one.
Yeah.
What do you think of Dark Knight?
Dark Knight. To be honest, it could have used another movie.
Sort of. You think?
No, it could.
You think Blake is supposed to be Robin?
He's not Robin. No, his name is Robin.
Stupid.
Have you seen those photos online?
Yes.
Him as Nightwing?
Yes.
Like, he gave him
the bat signal.
He gave him
everything.
Not just that, he gave him the bat cave.
Yeah.
He gave him the bat suit, obviously. So, where's the pictures of Gordon Levitt as Batman? Not Nightwing.
Yeah. Apparently, I just messed up, but the Avengers are re-releasing it this weekend with special footage of Iron Man.
Oh, I don't know about that because we never got it. Northern Ontario never got it.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that it is getting released in the States, probably mostly.
Some down south in Toronto too.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Iron Man. That's more of a rumor until you start reading about it on the internet.
I saw it online. That's what it said.
Yeah, but they also said to don't forget to stick around for some Schwarma. Well, that was on the original release anyway.
Yeah.
Not the original release, because they never saw that at the red carpet event.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It was after.
Yeah, they filmed it like the week after.
Yeah.
It's like the Sam Jackson scene at the end of Iron Man.
It was he was just kind of thrown in there.
Yeah, but they wanted to do it, but it wasn't part of the press release for the critics to review. It wasn't part of that.
I heard something about a Nick Fury TV show.
No.
That's what I heard.
Well, what you heard was S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah.
Yes.
They can't do S.H.I.E.L.D. without Nick Fury.
No, well, see, that's the thing. They just announced, they just greenlit a pilot for S.H.I.E.L.D. because Joss Whedon, Joss, J-O-S-S, Whedon.
Joss.
Yeah, that's with an S. That's with the H, though, Josh.
No, it's Joss.
Joss Whedon. Last month, because we're in September now, he got signed on to do a sequel for the Avengers and a untitled Marvel television series. And untitled meaning they still have to come up with a title type of thing. Because there was already works of a Hulk television series working on at ABC. Because ABC is owned by Disney. And Disney, up to a couple years ago, they owned Marvel.
ABC's gonna be the worst network out there.
I know, that's why this is awesome, because they get the greenlit S.H.I.E.L.D., which Joss Whedon is going to be scripter on with his brother and his sister-in-law. And it's going to be focusing on S.H.I.E.L.D. Sam Jackson might show up once in a while. not too often because,
Yeah,
but
well,
they are going to be basing it in that Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
So it's part of that. So whatever characters you see, because they can form the agents that they use from Shield, because some of them do get superpowers.
Well,
In the Marvel universe, there are some that they end up with superpowers and everything, so they become like superheroes. And such.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they're working on that. And Iron Man 3 comes out next May. Thor they started filming right now in England. That comes out next in November 2013.
Yeah,
And then Winter Soldier, which is the new Captain America, in April 14.
Yeah.
And then Guardians of the Galaxy in August.
That's weird.
I wasn't expecting that, but I wasn't surprised.
Yeah, it's just weird.
And Ant-Man is in the future as well, but they don't know when.
Yeah. Well, they're talking about the Wasp being in the next Avengers.
There's always talk everything. He still has to write it, and then they'll probably start production next year on it.
Yeah.
Just because of how big it is. What's his name? Sebastian Shaw. What the hell is his name? The kid there from played Bucky in Captain America.
Oh, I actually don't know his name. But I know what you're talking about.
He signed on for Winter Soldier because
because Bucky is the Winter Soldier.
he is the Winter Soldier. So as soon as they announced it, they had to sign him anyway. But then
Because he comes back to life.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, have you seen it?
No, I know the story.
But have you seen the movie?
The Captain America? Yeah, he dies. Apparently, he falls
Falls into what?
into a river, a ravine,
That's what?
a very ravine.
Yes.
It's winter.
With the river.
It's winter.
And it's
winter.
cold. So,
Yeah.
you know. But one of the other actors they also signed on was Anthony Mackie. He's from Hurt Locker, Adjustment Bureau. He's an African American actor. He's signed on to play
Black Cat.
the Falcon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the Black Panther, but
They're still working on that as a
Yeah.
movie as well.
I seen a movie today. It has nothing to do with superheroes, but it's with Ray Liotta.
Okay.
You know which one it is?
Yeah.
You know?
Which one?
With Winona Ryder.
Haven't
Contract Killer. You haven't seen the
There's
preview?
so many movies with contract killers.
No, but there's a guy from the main character. He's a contract killer. He plays. Have you seen that movie there with, or the TV series on the Super Network there with, they're back in the Prohibition days.
Lawless?
Huh? Not that one.
Untouchables?
No. Now I'm like losing all my facts. It's in Jersey. You ever watch it with what's his name there? Now I gotta think about it. Anyhow, yeah, that guy's in it.
A guy from that show.
The guy from that show, he plays.
That starts with that person.
He plays an FBI agent in it. I'm trying to even think of the actor's name that plays that guy.
Boardwalk Empire.
Boardwalk Empire. Yeah.
Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi. Yeah. Okay. You know the cop there. He's always chasing.
I don't watch the show.
You don't watch it? Well, there's a guy in there, FBI agent. Anyway, he plays a contract killer. Looks pretty good. Ray Liotta. I don't know what it's called, but you should look up that movie because it looks pretty good.
Let's see. Yeah, because Ray Liotta was in Subway last year. Everyone's talking this year about Jason Priestley. Nobody knows that Ray Liotta was in Subway last year filming the movie. And
So maybe I wonder if it
it
was.
was actually it was a couple years ago.
Was it?
Because this movie was in. It was called The Entitled, and it also starred Supergirl from Smallville.
Okay, yeah, I know. She is. She's a Canadian actress, eh?
Yes. The Outsider,
I think so.
and The Americans.
I'll tell you in a second. It comes out this year.
Oh, this year.
Yeah, it comes out this year. Like, it's going to be in theaters soon. I'll tell you.
Yellow.
The Iceman.
With who?
The Iceman. That's the movie. And,
Oh, there it is.
yeah. Yeah, it looks really good. But the guy...
Chris Evans.
Yeah,
James
Chris Evans
Franco,
is
yeah.
in it as well. James Franco, Winona Ryder,
Michael Shannon.
David Schwimmer, Cam Laughlin.
Michael Shannon, he's in that movie Premium Rush.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's the FBI agent in Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. That's
Well,
the first time I've ever seen him in it.
Now, of course, everyone's listening to this and they don't know that he's on. James is on IMDb, and if you go down a bit more, he's going to be in Man of Steel.
Is he in Man of Steel?
Yeah.
Oh, he's Zod. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, well, Superman's my boy. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait for Superman.
It's not Superman, it's Man of Steel.
No, it's Man of Steel, but it's Superman.
Yeah. Kevin Costner.
Yeah. So, if
Russell
it can
Crowe.
survive
Brandon Routh.
Brandon Routh, then it's fine. Actually, Brandon Routh wasn't that bad. It was
It was the storyline.
the storyline.
Yeah.
They could have totally did better, but they did.
They set it up between after number 2. That's why
Yeah.
they relied too much on the Donner films,
Yeah.
to make an original story. So
As far as Superman goes, like if you were to go back to like Christopher Reeve's day,
yeah,
he did a good
he was.
job.
He was.
He was the ideal person for it.
Did you see the ending of Ted?
No, I haven't seen Ted at all yet, so don't ruin it for me.
Oh, they do this whole like what they're doing now type of thing
Huh.
from the movie. So, and they make reference to Brandon Routh.
Okay. I didn't mind him as Superman. He just needed a different storyline. It's just like when what's his name played the Hulk there. He was in Ang Lee's movie.
Oh yeah, Eric Bana.
When Eric Bana played Hulk.
He didn't play Hulk.
Well,
that's the thing.
He
like,
played Bruce Banner,
Yeah.
but the storyline sucked. It was too long. But then you have someone like Edward Norton, who made it his own
Yeah.
kind of deal, and he did really good. And if he wasn't a jackass, he probably would have been in the Avengers.
Yeah.
But I find that I was like, when they first announced, what's his name played Bruce Banner in this movie?
The new one was. I'm trying to figure it out now. Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo. I was like, why did they name him Bruce Banner? Then to see him in the movie, I was like, this is the most logical.
Yeah.
This is the most logical pick for it.
Yeah.
For it.
And he played it right too.
Yeah, he did.
Like I watched an interview with him on. I'm gonna screw up his names on CBC. George.
George Stroumboulopoulos.
Yes, George Snuffleupagus. Yeah.
Snuffleupagus.
Yeah, so-
Stroumboulopoulos.
Yeah. So he did an interview with him, and he said that like he hadn't been doing any jobs when they announced it. He read the script and he's like, yeah, I can do this. You know, and there was a lot of inner demons in himself that he brought out that he was able to, you know, bring out into the Hulk as well. And on top of that, the Hulk actually looked like him.
Yeah.
You know, type of thing. So
They did like an Avatar basically with
Yeah.
Hulk.
yeah,
Where they took in Avatar, if you don't know, they took the actors' faces and it was imposed on
yeah,
the blue cat. So
Yeah.
they looked like their actor parts.
So
So, favorite scene from this past summer? You have to pick one.
well, it's the Avengers.
Just one scene?
Just one scene.
One
and
scene.
and it's the and you say okay, just one scene.
One.
One scene.
Well, you can't pick like a fight scene because then it's like
No,
huge.
no,
but
because
say-
when I look at scenes, I mean like where there's no cut. You know, like you can do a scene with two guys and it goes back and forth. Okay, that's a scene. But you can also do a scene where it's like one continuous shot, and this was really epic in Avengers. You see, it almost looks like it's one continuous shot, and it's them fighting, and all of a sudden, something happens. It goes up to Hawkeye, and he fires something off, hits something else, and you see this one of those giant things
Yep.
floating through, and it comes into the shot, and you see Thor and Hulk on that scene,
Yeah.
on there, and they're doing their fight, and they bring the worm down, and they're doing and then Hulk just extends his arm and just punches Thor.
I knew you were going to say that.
You know, like
Yeah.
that one in the ragdoll. I call it the ragdoll.
Ragdoll?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, when
With
Hulk
Loki.
with Loki.
Yeah, puny god. Yeah, and that was hilarious too because I went first night. I went to go see it. I took the wife and took my wife to see it, and we saw it in 3D.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be Q92 night. So there were people giving out prizes and everything too, and so it was pretty packed. So watching it, and they get to that scene, boom, 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 and everyone's laughing, and I'm laughing too. It's like, it's awesome. How come the scene went a little bit long? How come it went back to Loki?
Yeah.
You know. So the fall, and of course I was working that weekend, so you can hear. There's a monitor upstairs where you can turn up the volume, and because there's no crowd, and because they're all sold out, I'm not gonna sit in there or stand in there to wait for it to see. So I just go upstairs and turn on the volume, and it makes it even funnier what they did, because they made Hulk say something, and when they went back, it's the wheezing.
Yeah, he goes.
Yeah, he's trying to breathe. So the following Friday, second Friday it's out, we went again.
Yeah.
And this time we took the family. So we took her brother, his 2 kids, and her parents. So we all went to go and see it. And again, 3D, almost the same row. Anyway, get to it, and I told her about it too. How he says puny God. So we both heard it over the laughter, but again, we can't hear him wheezing.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was able to hear him say puny God and the wheezing. I saw that, like, in the theaters. And there was a couple jackals over off the right hand side that were laughing. We were pretty much in a, there was a couple people that laughed, but nobody. I like it when it's kind of quiet. Like, if there's some laughs or whatever, that's fine. But it seems like every time I go to a movie, like I went and saw Dark Knight on opening night, and it wasn't busy at all. And it was 9 o'clock show. It wasn't busy.
Yeah.
Nobody talked. Nobody nothing. And it doesn't fail if I go to the movies with my wife. Someone's always talking by her, and she wants to punch him in the face. And she gets upset because not only do we go see, it's not like we're going to see action films when it's action. We go see. I think we were watching My Sister's Keeper. Okay, and the girl's dying of cancer, and this kid starts laughing, and like pretty much all the rest of the theater is like quiet because the kid's dying, and this kid's laughing. It's like, really, come on, like, you're in the wrong movie then. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I go to my wife doesn't like going to movies because people always ruin the experience for her.
Yeah.
So, work on that.
I can't. Sorry, I'm only a TL.
It's funny when I see kids sneak in or whatever. It's just like,
It was funny because last weekend we had 2 14A movies and a PG movie open up. It was Premium Rush, Hit and Run, and The Apparition. Which one was PG?
The Apparition.
Yep.
Yeah.
The other 2 were 14A.
Yeah. The best parts are always the kids making trouble at the theater, trying to sneak in things. And then the other parts is finding stuff in washrooms that shouldn't be there.
Well, the fun part is finding stuff in theaters that shouldn't be there.
Yeah. Was it you? Were you working there when they found the needle?
No.
No. I thought you were.
I might,
You were working there, but I don't know.
I
if
think
you
it was
were
when
working
part
that
of
shift.
a day off or something.
Yeah. But then there's been condoms,
Yep.
alcohol,
Yeah, beer bottles, Mickey's, rye.
underwear. Some freaky stuff happens in theaters. And one of the best parts about cleaning up the theater, finding an unopened bag of candy.
Doesn't matter what kind.
Doesn't matter what kind.
It could be like the one that you least like, and it's like, nope,
Free
it's
candy.
free candy.
Free candy, I'm taking that shit. What if, hypothetically speaking, what if you come across an uneaten thing of nachos and the cheese is closed and it looks fine? Nobody ate out of it. What do you do?
I have What are you talking about? A few times.
What do you do?
Throw it out. Stale.
It's stale.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is like clean up theaters, and it's like I go and pick up the pop out of a large pop out of the cup holder,
and it's full.
And we mark it for when they come to the refill.
Yeah.
When we get a refill, and we mark it on the back, on the bottom. So I go and look at it. It's like there's no mark on this thing, man. And then another time was. I saw one couple come out of a theater. The movie had already started. They came out to get their popcorn and that. So I knew what they looked like, and okay. You go in the theater, the movie's about to end, and the lights come up, and I see everybody standing up. Well, okay, we were sitting. Just, you know how you recognize somebody from like an hour earlier that you don't know them, but you know, okay, well, they were sitting right there. Okay. Now I know what they went to candy, but I don't know what they got, whatever type of thing. Go and clean up. It's like full popcorn. What the hell? You get it for the candy? You got. Did you get it for the candy? Because it could have been cheaper if you just got the candy.
Maybe it was the napkins underneath the seat that they were more interested in.
No, they didn't have any napkins. It was packed though. That theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't that the fun of it?
What?
Popcorn trick?
No idea what you're talking
You put. Never mind. Well, yeah, you can tell you the popcorn trick, and obviously you can be fooled. Hey, you know?
No, because you need a tub. You don't need a bag.
Well, you can do a bag. Anyhow, you know how if there's 4 people having sex, it's foursome,
Okay.
right?
Together?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if there's 3 people having sex together, it's a threesome.
Okay.
Why do they call you handsome?
Are we talking about movies now or what?
No, I was just curious. I just heard that one yesterday. I was like, that's funny. That's hilarious. I read it on Facebook actually. I'm like, this is funny. I gotta use that one. I used it on my daughter's boyfriend. He goes, I don't get it. Yes. So the only thing I have to say is I like The Dark Knight, but it let me down a little bit. Smidgen.
To be honest, the ending reminded me of the Avengers.
Yeah, well, yeah, you have 2 billionaire playboys with an atomic bomb. What do you think's gonna happen?
So, but yeah, no.
It let me down just a little bit.
But The Dark Knight Rises, it could have been 2 movies.
But I've talked to this with a few people. This is my thought: is that at the end, because Nolan Ryan.
Yeah, Nolan. Yeah.
What? Ted Nolan? No, Nolan. What's his name?
Chris Nolan.
Chris Nolan. Yeah, the director of Batman.
Yeah.
He's the executive producer on Man of Steel.
Yep.
So my thought is that Joseph Gordon-Levitt, which is really hard to say sometimes, ends up showing up like
in it
at the end. At the not the end of the whole climactic scene with Zod, but at the end of the whole movie, I rate it as a special scene. He shows up
like
in
Sam
Metropolis, like Sam Jackson did. He just shows up in Metropolis, and that's all you see. Him as Batman.
Because they were talking about Batman reboot after Justice League.
Well, this leads up to Justice League. Somebody has to play Batman.
It's 3 years from now, Justice League.
Yeah, someone has to play Batman.
But Batman.
In Justice League.
But Batman.
Yeah.
Has to be Batman. It can't be Robin.
No.
Can't be Nightwing.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Everyone
keeps saying, because the only thing that threw him off is because
they said
I'm pretty sure they said his name is Robin. The artwork that's online is fake of him as Nightwing. Even though, along with the story, it kind of makes sense if you go back when Tim Drake became Nightwing, and then he was supposed to become Batman, and he didn't, and then he became Batman. Okay? But they're gonna bypass all that.
You know who became Batman? After Bruce Wayne?
Yeah, that other Bruce Wayne was old with the walker, and then the other guy.
In the comic books. I haven't read them in a while, but you know who became after he died? you know that he died, right, Bruce Wayne?
Yeah.
But he didn't really die. He was sent back. His atoms or whatever. It was the return of Batman, but it was Batman through the ages, and it was actually Bruce Wayne, and his molecules were trying to retrace itself back to present day type of thing. And there was Alan Moore or Grant Morrison did this storyline. It wasn't Alan Moore. Alan Moore, he's very protective of this stuff. But he, all the time periods, even like a caveman Batman type of thing, and because he wasn't really killed, he was sent through, his molecules were sent through time, whatever. But it was Dick Grayson who took over Batman.
Yeah.
Dick Grayson is Nightwing.
Sorry, Dick Grayson is
the original
Tim
Robin.
Drake.
Yeah, and now
Drake's the second Robin.
Tim Drake's the third Robin.
Third, yeah.
And now he's Red Robin.
No, Red Robin.
And yes, he has a hood. Okay? The new Robin right now is Damian Wayne. The illegitimate child of Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul.
Anyhow, I still think Batman's going to show up at the end of Man of Steel. Just showing up in Metropolis or something.
They did say they're going to be introducing, there is going to be a cameo by a DC character outside of the Superman universe type of thing.
They need to, if they want to compete with the Avengers.
Which they're doing it all wrong.
I know.
They're working backwards if they're doing it. If they do it the way they say they're going to do it, their next movie is Justice League, which is in 3 years. Then they're going to spawn off from that.
They built all the other characters up before they did
For
Thor,
Marvel.
American, like that. Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, for Marvel they did
Captain America,
Iron Man.
Man.
Iron Man was their first movie that they financed themselves.
Yeah. So they are doing it kind of backwards, but who
Yeah.
knows? There is a DC fan base out there. So last
Where?
question.
I don't know.
I'm DC. I like DC. I like Marvel too, but I'm more Superman and Batman than anything else. Hypothetical question. Last one.
Okay.
Who's better with the arrow? The arrow? Or the Green Arrow? Or Hawkeye? Who's better?
You're getting me at a.
There's DC in there.
Yeah, I know.
Green Arrow and then Hawkeye. Who's better?
I have to go with Green Arrow.
Yeah, Green Arrow's better.
Oliver Queen.
Yeah.
So.
Plus he's a millionaire.
Yeah. You gonna watch the new series?
I heard about it and I watched so much TV. I'm not watching any more TV. I haven't even watched all of Smallville. I'm on season 7.
Well, Green Arrow's in that.
Yeah, I know.
Queen's in that.
Yeah.
You know what that role was supposed to be?
No.
Bruce Wayne.
What was it? Oh, because that would make sense.
Because they were trying to work in Bruce Wayne into it, but because of I don't know what kind of legal issues it is, because who owns the TV rights to Batman and everything, and so it was more of a legal issue type of thing. And once Batman Begins came out, they decided Nolan stepped in and he said that no, I want Batman to be, apart from Superman type of thing. I think it was a step backwards.
In that movie, yeah.
No, it's just the fact that they kept it separate from TV.
Oh.
Type of thing. If they would have been open with it, if they would have been able to put Bruce Wayne into it and establish that DC universe as Young Days type of thing, they would have been where the Avengers is now.
It was so funny at the end of Avengers when what's his name shows up.
Thanos.
Thanos.
Is that a spoiler?
Thanos.
That's a spoiler right there.
I was like, I know that guy. That's I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Trying to think. Oh, that's wasn't he Superman? But apparently those two characters were created at the same time. Darkseid and Thanos look very similar, and I think Darkseid was created after Thanos. If I remember correctly.
And Darkseid was more of a Jack Kirby type of character because of the whole New Gods and everything.
Yeah.
Too, he was put into that universe. With Thanos, it's gonna be interesting to see because he might be the villain in Guardians.
That's how they'll tie in everything
Yeah.
to the last
just because of
the last Avengers, the next
the
Avengers.
next Avengers. Yeah, but
Like 15 years ago, you wouldn't think that these superhero movies would be like they are today. Like so popular. Like you had like the Punisher with Dolph Lundgren, which was I thought was probably the best Punisher.
man.
The best Punisher out of them all was actually that one.
You know what though? I did like it as well. Then when Thomas Jane came in, I liked him as Punisher, but not that setting.
Yeah,
It had to be New York. And then when Ray Stevenson did Warzone, perfect, New York. Yes. Microchip, not so much. You know, like Wayne Knight playing Microchip was perfect,
yeah.
but not for that story. Like even Julie Benz was good in that movie too. They could have picked a better villain than Jigsaw. You know, like New York City though,
It's been a while since I've seen
the
that
right
one.
origin in it too, and the right costume and everything. But they could have did a different story other than Jigsaw. You know.
But in closing, you know who the bomb is? Ben Affleck and Daredevil.
I think so.
Yeah.
They needed a better story.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Again, I'm just surprised that Fox is not going forward with their Daredevil reboot.
They could lose Daredevil and still keep Spider-Man.
No. Fox. They own the rights for Daredevil.
Oh, so yeah, Sony owns Spider-Man.
Yeah, and they also own because they own Galactus and Silver Surfer.
Right.
Because they were in the last Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
Everyone has probably read this online and everything, but the director they had for Daredevil, he put out a sizzle reel just to get people interested in it, and the studio's interested in trying to do this character.
Yeah, I heard that. I haven't seen it.
And he's edited one together where there's all these movies from like the 70s that he used, and as well as artwork from the
Ben
comic book.
Affleck from
And the archive from the movie
Yeah.
as well. There's like scenes from like the Warriors and everything from like, but it was supposed to take place in 1973.
Yeah.
You know, which would be awesome. But if Fox loses the rights and it goes back to Marvel, they can't do it now. They can't do that because Daredevil is in like he's a warrior. You know, like if they're gonna if Marvel's gonna do it, end up doing Daredevil, then they'll put it so that he's in present day, and if Shield needs a warrior, they'll go to him because that's what happens in the comic books. You know, Peter Parker needs a warrior. No, Matt Murdock. You know, Daredevil. You know, and that's what happened in the Kevin Smith run of miniseries. The Evil That Men Do. It's a Spider-Man Black Cat storyline. He's got Daredevil helping him out because she's in jail or something like that, and he gets Matt Murdock to represent her, and Daredevil will help him track her down because she escaped or whatever. So
Black Cat would be a good series, even if they did it for TV.
that'd be too sexist. Have you seen comic books today? Oh my god. They can't do those movies. They can't do a movie based on those characters.
Sure, they could.
Are you gonna get Christina Hendricks to play her?
That's a good pick. It's a good pick. So you're gonna come back and record another one another time?
Is this gonna be for week 2?
Yeah.
Are you gonna post them all both at the same time?
No, not the same time. This one's an hour and 18 minutes. The other one
Yeah.
was 2 hours because you don't shut the fuck up.
No, I don't. I told that to somebody too. I was telling them the story, blah blah blah, and it's like, holy crap, you're done work, aren't you? Go home.
just. My wife is here now. I asked him a story. First podcast, okay? I said, "Yeah, so you do directing and you're working. Are you doing anything?" He's like, "Yeah, I might do a documentary." And he started talking about the Spartans, the Sudbury Spartans, because he works with them. 2 hours. Off one question, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take too much cues there from Kevin Smith there.
Too much, you think?
Yeah. Do you have somewhere to be at 420?
Is that a Kevin Smith reference or what?
Yeah, he smokes weed every
Yeah, I know.
420. Yeah, you know that. Yeah, so it was fun having you. And this will be like up later in the week because then I got 2 this week.
Two-part week. Yeah.
2-part week.
You can have next week off.
It's like, yeah. Funny enough, I go on Facebook and I post like the episodes that I do, whatever, and I just say, "Hey, I have a podcast. Yay, I talked. Yay, me, I'm a loser." I put this morning cleaning up and recording a podcast with a friend. Then
It's like,
who's
the friend?
the friend? Oh, that's a buddy of mine. Yeah, he's coming over to talk. We're gonna record. Okay, have fun. Another one of my friends. You have a podcast? Yeah. What are you talking about? This? Can I be on it? Sure. You can be on it. I don't care. We'll talk about something. Okay, cool. Then another guy. Hey, where can I get this podcast? I'm like, I put it up every week. Like every time. It's right on my Facebook page. I guess I gotta promote a little bit better every 10 minutes. Just have some bot put it on. Here's my podcast. Here's my podcast again.
Hey, another.
Yeah, so you'll come back. You're a good
Yeah.
guest.
Yeah.
Then we can
Am
talk
I?
more stories. Oh yeah, you're good guest. So anyhow, well, thanks for hanging with us. Thanks for hanging with me, OJ.
No problem.
Keeping me company today. It's good.
It's better than talking to yourself.
Yeah, it is. Okay, bye.
Bye.